What's up, world? This is your guy, Guitar K, and today I'm talking about one of my favorite video games of all time, 1987's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Woo! You put that code in to get straight to Tyson, press start, that boxing glove start punching through that title banner like boom, boom, boom. This was actually a spinoff from 1984's Punch-Out, a stand-up arcade game that was also one of my favorite games up until 1987 when Tyson's Punch-Out came out. Crazy thing is, the game was exactly the same game. The only thing they added in was Mike Tyson. In the original Punch-Out, the end character was Mr. Dream, a fictional character. But all they did was put some type of video skin over top of Mr. Dream, made him into Mike Tyson, and it took this game to the next level, man. Look, you had to have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out back in the 80s when it came out. It was a proverbial game. Even people that didn't play video games played Punch-Out. Even people that didn't like boxing had Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And it coincided with his run that y'all see so much about now. It's him being the baddest man on the planet, and he was Iron Mike Tyson at the time. It was a must-have game. Today I was working out. I was punching my bag, and a friend of mine walked by, and as I was hitting the bag, he was like, body blow, body blow, body blow. And that is the original commentary from the original version of Punch-Out. Every punch you would do, it would say it like body blow, jab, uppercut, uppercut, jab, right cross, right in the middle of the fight. Another notable thing about that original Punch-Out is the character, he was a no-name boxer just called the Challenger. And he was like a green grid guy with green trunks and green hair and green gloves, and he was see-through so that you could see the character that was in front of you. But when Mike Tyson's Punch-Out came in, ooh, they revamped that, man. In comes Little Mac. And Little Mac, he had the green gloves and the green trunks, but the guys that designed this was real smart. They made him little. That way, when you stood in front of your opponent, you could see your opponent, and they didn't have to make a see-through guy like they did in the original Punch-Out. Also, they stepped up like the training thing, like they had you riding the bike and training with your trainer who was Doc Lewis, and he would be in your corner, and remember you could start doing the rounds, and he would rub your shoulder and make your stamina go up. Look, man, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was a classic game, man. And you had Mario as the referee. Yes, Super Mario, Luigi's big brother. That was the referee in these matches, man. And it had a variety of characters that you had to get through. And I mean, I'm talking about Glass Joe with his weak ass. Then you had Von Kaiser with his weak ass. He was a step up from Glass Joe, but he was still weak. In comes the first kind of challenge at the time was Piston Honda, who was an exact replica of Mike Tyson, the way he fought, the same body, the same way he jumped around, same trunk, same shoes, everything. Only he was a foreign guy by the name of Piston Honda. Next in came Don Flamenco, who at the time, I mean, he just seemed sweet. I guess that's the right word. I mean, maybe we can still use that word today. I don't know how to explain him, but he seemed sweet. He danced out to the ring with a rose in his mouth, doing like a little fruity dance and all of that. And he was a little tough, but he was still beatable. Next came King Hippo. Now, King Hippo, man, look, he's kind of like life, you know. He could be real hard if you don't know what you're doing. But once you figured him out, he became real easy to beat and actually funny and comical, because once you got him down one time, he was too much of a hippo to get back up. Also, you had some repeat offenders in here. You know, you would fight Piston Honda again. You would fight Don Flamenco again. And they would be considerably better coming around this time, especially Don Flamenco, man. His sweet ass stepped this game up a lot. We also had Great Tiger. Great Tiger had the turban on his head with the ruby, and he would do the flying around the thing with the tiger punch. Then you had Ball Bull. Man, look, until you figured out that Ball Bull rush, your ass was getting knocked out a lot till you figured it out. Then you had a drunk boxer by the name of Soda Popinski, who was a Russian guy who seemingly drunk vodka in between each round. I mean, That's kind of crazy, but that's what was going on. Then we had Mr. Sandman. Mr. Sandman was nice. You had to be a next level kind of player to beat Mr. Sandman. He was not no walk in the park. Then we had Macho Man, who came out doing the Terry Crews, bouncing his chest all up and down in the ring. He was also a tough guy to beat. Then finally, in the original Punch-Out, you would come across Mr. Dream. And then in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you was finally fighting Mike Tyson. I remember, like, before we got the code and everything, we just had to make it and do it the old-fashioned way. We didn't have no memory cards. You had to fight and play this game all the way through. It was a beast of a game, man. But then you finally fight Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson come out within the first 1 minute and 30 seconds. If he hits you one time, you're going down. And we never knew that at first. You had to figure this game out, man. This is before we had like manuals and tip books and YouTube to show you how to cheat the game and all that, man. We played this game with blood, sweat, and tears to get to Tyson and to beat Tyson. And when you finally beat him, man, it was like he won a Super Bowl, man. It was a celebration time because you finally had defeated the reason that you got the game. You beat Iron Mike Tyson, who, like I said at the time, was actually the baddest man on the planet. Look, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm a nerd to the core. I've been that always. And I loved playing video games growing up. Not so much now, but back in the day when video games was fun. You know, when it was really just a game. Now these games today, it's not a game. You got to really know the skills and the ways of what's going on. You might have to really call a real boxer to play a boxing game now. You might have to really call a real football player to learn how to play these football game stuff they got now. I came from the era where games were just fun. They were just silly and fun. Like I said, you had Little Mac, who was probably like in nobody's weight class that he fought in that whole game. Remember, you collect the stars when you hit them with a good shot. They'd be like, blicky, blicky, and they get the star over top of their head, and he would squat down and do that uppercut. Look, man, we love playing this game. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, 80s classic. If you never played it, it is still fun to play today. And if you did play it, you know where I'm coming from. This is your guy, Guitar K. Be more